Okay, here we're recording. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the BSBN podcast. We're on episode number 3 here. We got Vic back today. He's no longer dead. We got him back from the grave. He's been good here. He's here, happy, alive, and working his ass off. And then we got Dan here as well, fresh off a
Hey
doctor's
guys,
visit.
hey.
Um, Interesting week this week. I'm gonna jump straight into this Giants versus Eagles game just because I feel like that's like one of the hot topics of the week, at least for me, especially with how much stuff really went on in that game. That was an that was a really good game by the Giants here. I don't think anyone had the Giants going into this game, especially not us. Every team we've gone for that we unanimously decide 3-0 is getting killed in every single one of their games. Every time, almost unanimously. We all went for the Lions, they lost. Went for the Eagles, they lost. It's just we're getting killed with all the teams we are like 3-0 on for the year so far, it feels like. So if you guys both go a different team, I'm gonna say a different one. Maybe we get a different outcome for it. So it kind of like helps us out a little bit. But yeah, no, Giants versus the Eagles, man. That was a good game by Dart. Good game by a lot of people. I'm off with just the fact that Dart has a lot of swagger. I've actually really been enjoying the way he looks like on field. He looks real confident, looks really into what he's doing. Adebo, same thing, 3 touchdowns, almost 100 yards. He would have had over 100 yards if it wasn't for that taunting flag because he has that tick in his neck that he just keeps twitching, and the refs didn't like that. But he would have had over 100 yards that game if it wasn't for a 15-yard flag. And then he immediately, next play, gets it right back anyway. Scatabo honestly just looks like such a steal, dude. I know everyone talked about it during the draft, but he just looks like such damn steal. I've loved every little bit about his game. I'm loving everything. The kid's a truck. He leans in. He is a walking CE. Everyone already knows that. There's millions of nicknames going out for them, which I'm loving it. I think Pat McAfee show they were talking about. They were like Bam Bam Cam, and that was a whole big thing. Same thing with Arm and Hammer, amongst other things, though. And then I think there's a player no one has really been talking about. He has been definitely out on the team where he's been playing great, but I feel like his name does not come up often enough for me to be comfortable with. And that person that I'm talking about is going to be Brian Burns. I think Burns has been amazing on defense. The guy leads in sacks. I think he's top 5 right now in sacks. He's got 7 sacks in the season or something like that at the moment, and he looks incredible. He's having a year, to say the least, and I'm loving every bit of it. He's averaging at least 1 sack a game, which is insane. And he had a big sack against Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter, which I think it was the third, whatever quarter it was. That it was like the last sack he got in the game. I think he got 2 sacks in that game. Because the last that he got was really, really like a turning point for the Giants to really get out ahead and keep themselves ahead. It was definitely in the second half. I know that. But yeah, no, Brian Burns has been great. I'm loving the way that Wan'Dale Robinson's looking on the field. The fact that the Giants went into this game without Malik Neighbors and they have nothing but Humphreys, who's a practice squad player, Wan'Dale Robinson and Slayton. Dart's looking great out there with a not top tier squad in the league, and it looks like all the players want to play around him. He just has that energy, and people want to carry into like he's selling you something, and everyone's buying it. He's absolutely getting out there with a squad like that, and he's coming out with results. You know, he did have a bad game against the Saints, but rookies are going to make rookie mistakes. I held it against him last week in the podcast, but I'm going to praise him this week. He played amazing. That was a great game by everyone all around, offense and defensive side. And just I was real happy seeing that as a Giants fan. It was just really energetic. I've seen so many people that aren't even Giants fans that are like, I watch the Giants because they're fun right now. Fun team in the league to watch. They got eyes all over them. You know, Jackson Dart's encapsulated the entire league to watch and focus on him. And that's insane for me as a Giants fan to hear that, because we've been like the laughing stock of the league for the last while now. And just it's great seeing that kind of energy.
Uh, yeah, man. Um, Dart, man. Yeah, 2 wins, right? They got 2 wins with him now.
Yeah,
So, you know, that's progress, right? They didn't have any wins without him. So, yeah, him and Scatterbo, man, they're productive together. Clearly, that offense it gels nicely too. And I like Scatterbo too. A lot of memes on him, obviously. There's a lot of hype around those two
yeah.
guys, two youngsters coming out, getting it started early. At least someone in New York's doing something positive. Um, yeah, it's nice. He had his best game. 3 touchdowns, like you said. Love the way he plays too, man. Just puts his head down, literally puts his head down, which is not safe, Scatty. Keep your head up. Um, but yeah, just keeps his head down, runs hard, bro, runs through guys. He chips players. Like he's everything you want in a running back as far as the fundamentals go. He's doing everything he's told and more. And yeah, you see them used more and more. That offense has to kind of run to them now because they don't got neighbors anymore, and Dart's still figuring out that system.
Yeah.
It's the first time for both of these guys to go out and to be able to produce and grab some wins in a system that they're not too familiar with. And really, Dart brings an energy. It's one of the biggest qualities at the quarterback position that you see quarterbacks lack, and it's that energy, bro. And he's able to change the game with just his energy alone. You know what I mean? That's a big part of a quarterback trait, like Mahomes has it. It's just that energy to keep guys in the game, and that's what he does. He keeps the defense wanting to keep going and keep fighting. And it helps all these guys play at that level or with that confidence or that morale where they want to just go for each other, and put themselves on the line and get every inch and every yard, and that's going to win you games, especially in those tight games. But yeah, they're starting to look good. They are gelling together. Like you said, Burns is to me is the best guy in that defense. Then the Giants really scored with grabbing him, because there's no time like his prime, which is right now. I
For
mean,
like
I think you're
basically
going to see the
nothing.
best this year.
Yeah, for like basically nothing too. A
What, a
second round and a
third
fifth
draft
round.
pick or something like
Yeah, it was
that?
like a second and a
Yeah,
fifth. It really
you know what
wasn't
I
that
mean.
bad.
You're gonna get the best years out of his career in New York. So they did a good job there, and you're seeing it right now. And that's and he's got young guys like Carter that can look up to guys like this. And he can help mold those guys too. So it's great to have a guy like him in your locker room. Of course, they got Lawrence and they got all these other guys, and the DBs are playing a little bit better now too. Since starts came around, the defense is starting to look a little bit more solid and compact. And they'll be tested clearly going up against Denver, going up against one of the better defenses
In
in
the
the
league,
league,
yeah.
and them having a good running back and having Sutton, who didn't have a great game with the Jets now.
Got one
Not
catch.
saying Sauce is the greatest corner in the world, but he did a good job of holding Sutton to one catch,
Yeah, he
or whatever it was, to one decent gain in the
yeah.
game. So the Giants are going to have to take a little bit out of that film and see how they made Nix get out of his comfort zone. And if they can do that and put up offense, unlike the Jets were able to, and do what they've been doing week in and week out, just relying on Dart. Dart another one too, man. I like to see him. I've seen him slide a few times. He's got to keep putting that slide into focus though, because you see he likes. He's easy to get out that pocket, and he's quick, and he can use his legs, which is a weapon. But you don't want him to be taking hits, and having those
No.
concussion protocols, a ball going in the tent, and this investigation thing going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then you got to give the ball back to Russ, and then the guys are hyped because Dart's playing with this fire. You know what I mean? That could really cause. So he's got to just do what he's got to do. He's got to get down and slide. I know he wants to get these extra yards, but once you get the first down, just take the first down and keep the drive moving, because all it takes is one hit. I'm sure Scatabo, being his buddy and all, isn't telling him to take a slide. You know what I mean? He's probably telling him to drop his head
Yeah,
and get
it's
the
just
extra 5 yards.
full
Like,
full on.
he's a quarterback, man. Like, come on. They need both of you guys. All right,
I think
you
they
got a little bit more endurance
I
on you.
think they watched your high school highlight tapes is what they were doing. They were out there watching you. That's where they got their motivation from, you know what I'm saying?
Or they were
Yeah,
watching
well,
Waterboy.
well, I was playing backyard ball, so I
Yeah,
wasn't
I
getting
know.
paid or anything. I didn't really have anything to
Yeah, and we
lose.
were
So
playing
these
and we were
guys,
playing without the pads. Remember?
yeah, these guys need to play the right way, play safe. Play hard but play safe so that they can keep on. coming out and playing because they need both of those guys right now. You take those two guys out of the offense, and I think you're
You lose
looking
a
at a
lot.
mediocre Giants offense.
100%.
You know, yeah, I see flashes of Jones and Barkley a little bit in this because they're dynamic together. You know what I mean? Yeah, Barkley ran the whole offense when Jones was there, but right now you don't got that lackluster neighbors there. Like you know what I mean? Like you're lacking in places where guys have to step up, but Dart and Scatabo are able to step up and keep them in the games, and I think that's what's making them play. They're playing their hearts out, so it lets the defense play hard. It lets all these other guys step up and make plays when they have to. So they need to play safe. They need to play smart. Obviously, they got to play aggressive, but they just got to keep sticking with what works, right? What's been working with them right now is that duo right there, and letting Dart go out and do his thing just a little bit more safely. You know what I mean? The best thing about rookies too, man, is like they're like wild cards, man. Like you really don't know. You haven't seen them in the league enough to know what their ticks are and stuff, So he does playing with his confidence and swag. He has an advantage. Like they got tape. This is all what's the word? Improv for him right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He goes out there and he improvises, and that's hard to read. You can't predict that because they haven't seen him in the league enough. So he's got a little bit of an upper hand on some of these teams. He could go out there and dish out 40 on the ground or dunk it off to Scatabo. They don't know much on him either. So them being youngsters and playing well, it's hard for the league to read. It's going to take them some time to watch film and watch these guys progress in the league to know, like, oh yeah, he likes to use his legs. Like they don't really know that yet. It's only been 2 games for them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of uptake, and if they could just keep playing that way, I think they'll help the Giants overall as a unit and a team, just based off of their energy and their vibe and their flow and what they bring to that team, which is to me is energy. That energy is what's generating all the talk around the league right now, but behind these two, and it's what's getting these guys in the locker room fired up. It's not that they ain't got that losing mentality right now. Right now, they're like, yo, we can do all things through Dart and Scatabo, so let's just get on them and see what we can do. And I think that's what's making everybody play good. So they got to ride this out. They got to ride this fire out, and just keep letting them do what they do. Just slide and keep your head up, Scatabo.
Yeah, I mean, no, I 100% agree with what Vic said on how the energy that Jackson Dart and Scatabo is bringing right now is the driving factor behind why the Giants are doing what they've been doing. Like, yeah, we beat the Chargers and then we lost to the Saints, but at the same time, the energy was still there in that game, whether you don't want to admit that or not. The energy was still there in the Saints game, but the Saints just played better, and we had a whole bunch of broken coverages on defense, on the defensive side of the ball that the Saints capitalized on. But this game, I think that the turning tide in this game right here, in the Eagles and Giants game, was the Humphreys catch. I don't know how that wasn't deflected, swatted out of his hands, and he came down with that ball, because Dart threw that in between 2 defenders, and Humphreys still came down with that catch.
6'4".
I think that, yeah,
huge.
but still, you have a defender behind you and in front of you, and you're still making that catch. It was an impressive catch from Humphreys' part.
Yeah.
But the whole offense really got involved, because you also saw Hyatt come up with a catch, or 3 receptions for 17 yards. And I think Hyatt is going to mainly be the factor coming in to where he's going to determine if Dart can get him the ball more often, just like Neighbors, because even though Hyatt is small, he still has speed, kind of like Robinson. So, but I think Hyatt is more of a deep threat than a consistent route runner. So it's going to be interesting to see what Hyatt does in the offense, if Hyatt even gets involved. But yeah, Scatabo had an amazing day, 98 yards. He outran Saquon Barkley, and you usually don't see that happening quite often. But it seems like this year, Saquon Barkley has been getting outran every game so far.
Yeah, I don't
and
think he's
they're
cracked
relying on
He hasn't cracked over
he
100
hasn't
yards
cracked over 100 yards
at all this season.
and he cracked, and the only time he didn't do that last year was in 6 games. So the fact that Barkley still hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game is kind of concerning for the Eagles. But then you also look at Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts didn't have a bad passing game, but again, the only guy he got involved with AJ Brown and Gobbert.
Yeah, the one time I take him
Like-
out of fantasy, he throws to him.
Yeah, but even 80 yards and not even one
Yeah,
touchdown from him. So the Giants' defense played amazing, and then you also have was it Flott that had the interception
Flott,
on
yeah.
Jalen?
Yeah, it was Flott. He
Flott
caught
with
that.
that
Beautiful.
amazing read, coming up with that pick. The defense is playing extremely well so far. I mean, the pressure is getting to the quarterback because we sacked Jalen Hurts 3 times, and we pressured him to make mistakes and everything.
I don't know who got the third sack. I think Burns got them in that one. I think Burns has. You can quote me if I'm wrong, but I think Burns got
had
2 sacks. And I don't know who the other
Burns
one was.
had 2, and Darius. I don't know how to pronounce his last.
Darius. Okay, yeah, no, I love him. That's the rookie. I love him. I'm so glad. Like he was another one of the rookie guys that we got. I think it was the 3rd round pick. He's another one that I'm like, all right, I'm happy they put him out here with Dexter Lawrence. He came in because of an second guy, which I don't remember how to say his name, but he came in due to the injury to the other defensive tackle that was there, and he's been playing great so far. I love him in there. I hope they keep him as a starter right next to Dexter Lawrence because they play great together. I'm loving the way they're playing. I love that little duo between the two.
But yeah, I think, and then Jackson Dart. Yeah, he didn't have a 200-yard passing game, but he
cares?
did what he had to do. He got yards both with his feet and through the air. And like Vic said, like Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo are two. It's very concerning the way they play the game because they're just, we're gonna run at you. They're like a Bobby Boucher type player who just doesn't care and is gonna absolutely run through you and just destroy you. But at the same time, it is that concerning factor that, and we saw it this week with Jackson Dart going down again for concussion protocol. Like, I get it. I get you wanna extend the play, and I get you wanna gain yards in certain situations, but sometimes it's just best to be more aware of your health. This isn't about it's your longevity in the game. You want your rookie to have longevity in this league.
Am I wrong though?
Jackson Dart,
didn't that come off a sack, not a run? Wasn't that a sack that happened? I could have sworn that concussion protocol came off a sack from he got hit from the side, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I think it was a run or it could have been a sack.
I could have swore it was a sack. Like he was trying to scramble.
I think he was
get out of the
scrambling,
pocket.
yeah.
And then he got hit from the side, and then his head didn't even hit the floor. Really, he went down. His head just backlashed off the floor after the initial hit, and then they were like, because his helmet moved. That's an automatic. All right, get to the thing, and then obviously the disgraceful thing with Dayball happened. I thought it was funny in the moment.
I wouldn't call it disgraceful because at the same time, it's like you want your quarterback out there. And you want to know, yes, I get it that he did a wrong thing by going and pushing or yelling at the doctor, but at the same time, it's like you want your guy out there to know if he's capable of coming out or if you have to put in your backup. So, yes, did he do wrong? Absolutely, but at the same time, I don't think it was that big of a deal because I think any coach in his situation would do the same thing to bring out a rookie quarterback.
I disagree. I think that's
get a rookie quarterback back in there.
I think I disagree. Even though I do think Russell Wilson has been absolute cheeks this season. Don't get me wrong, but that's such a telltale sign that you're not wanted on the team. You had him come out here. You couldn't even give him the benefit of the doubt for a play. The moment he went down, you were like, all right, yeah, get out there, and then you immediately ran back there as if your season was on the line. You're 2-4. You decided not to have Dart in from game 1. And now you're mad that he's not in for a play yet. You can't rush him back, even if you're excited because you want him back in the game because you're winning against the Eagles. That's great and all, but my dude, you're coming in. What if you have something going on? You're trying to yell at these doctors. Let them do their job. To stop trying to rush this guy.
It's the heat of the moment, and you don't know how you would be in that situation.
Professionally.
And how you would have handled it.
Professionally.
Yes, but at the same time, it's the heat of the moment. The heat of the moment gets everybody. It's not just
heat of the moment. Heat of the moment is for street talk. Heat of the moment is us in the middle of the street. We're about to fight, and I, instead of calming down and backing off. I just swing. Like, heat of the moment is not, I'm in a professional setting. My team is already 1-4. Let me go ahead and rush the career of a rookie who already has problems with staying off the ground. Let me go rush his health back because I want to win this game, because I'm anxious about him being off the field. You brought Wilson here for, even if it's for a play, let him play it down. Stop just immediately going straight to the, and then the Giants fan booed Wilson fairly, to be fair, because my God, that was a horrible play. He just chucked the thing on the ground, which I was like, what the hell? But I don't, the heat of the moment doesn't, it's kind of like Brian Branch, like he's annoyed in that the Detroit game. We'll get into that later, but like heat of the moment doesn't excuse professionality. You can't not be a professional in a professional setting.
Yeah, you can be professional, but at the end of the day, it's still the heat of the moment is going to get the best of you.
I'm not
at
acting
times.
like
And
that. in
yeah,
the moment.
okay. I mean, it's kind of because we've seen it a lot. We saw it, and you've been seeing it a lot this year, especially with the Eagles, because you had what's his name, you had Campbell spitting on Dak Prescott at the start of the season. So it's like everybody has their moments.
Carter, Jalen
and
Carter.
Jalen Carter. Everybody has their moments, and you try to be as professional as you can, but sometimes the moments get the best of you, and it's you see it in every sport, not just football. You see it in baseball. You see it in hockey. You see it in all the sports where the moment it's in the moment, and you're gonna do what you do in the moment.
Do you guys believe that it deserves a punishment that he went into that into the thing and that he went into the tent?
I think that's on the Giants to decide. I don't think it's
The NFL
the NFL should get.
The NFL is conducting an interview.
Yes, at the same time, at the end of the
investigation.
day, I think the NFL is getting involved with the investigation, but I still think it's the Giants' call on what the punishment should be. I don't think the NFL, because what, the NFL is going to issue down a suspension? I don't think it's suspension worthy, because we've seen coaches do a hell of a lot worse, especially to refs. So I don't know that it's that big of a deal, really, because you want your player back out there and you want to know how much time he has left. And if you're going to put in your backup for more than one play, it's just all of in the moment type of thing. Like I said, I don't think it's, he should be suspended or something like that. I think the Giants should get involved, and if they want to fine him, but I don't think it's suspension worthy.
What do you think? Like a fine?
Yeah, because like I said, we've seen coaches do a hell of a lot worse to refs, and the NFL just brushes it off their shoulders.
I don't know. I think he does deserve a fine at the very least. I don't know how they suspend coaches. I don't remember the last time I've seen an actual NFL coach suspended, but I think we've seen. I don't
even think it's a thing.
A thing, right? It's like I think they got to fine him for sure. In my opinion, they got to fine him just because I think we've seen something like this a couple of years back when Tua had first started getting the concussion protocol stuff going on with him, and the coach wanted to rush him back in, and everyone gave the coach flack. And I think that's kind of a similar situation. Is this guy's rushing in there?
Happened with him. McDaniels didn't get anything done.
I believe there was a fine involved, but regardless,
no, because Jason McDaniels still put Tua back out, and he ended up actually having a concussion.
Oh yeah,
after
and he
the
caught
first
flack.
time he had a concussion,
and he caught flack for it.
And I don't think this is worse than what McDaniels did at all.
I kind of do think it is because it's
no, because that's you actually not having your players' health in hand.
He doesn't have health in hand either, though. He literally went rushing in like, "Come on, let's go, hurry up!" Like he didn't give a shit if he had a concussion. He went in there, let's hurry up and let's get back on the field.
But he still put out Russell Wilson. This wasn't him. The next play, putting in Jackson Dart like they did with Tua. Tua had the concussion, and he went back and had it and got another one.
Because he needed to wait until he was done.
The first hit, his hands locked up, and that's pure concussion protocol.
He doesn't have his health in mind. I don't care if he subbed him out for a play. He didn't have his health in mind. He wouldn't have rushed the doctor like that if you had your health in mind. You don't rush someone because it's like going to a doctor and be like, hey, hurry up. I have a game to go watch. Hurry up with this MRI. Hurry up with this MRI. Hurry up. I gotta go watch the game. Like, nah, it's like, come on. That's asinine. I think that what he did was definitely foolish. It was not right. Dayball does deserve a fine. I love the Giants, don't get me wrong, but he does deserve a fine. I don't care if it's worse or not. You can debate that, whatever. But like, I still think it's terrible. He doesn't have his player safety in mind at all. If they're, I don't care if, because even I said that the play didn't deserve for him to even go to concussion protocol. But if they're saying that, then maybe he does. Have him go in there and at least let him check. Don't just go, oh, hurry the hell up and get done. He's got to get back on the field. Like, that's, and then you're cursing out the doctor for having him go in there. It's not the doctor's rule. They have people up top that look down at that and they call it automatically medical timeout. He's got to go to the tent. And then he goes to the tent. He's out for a play minimum. Like, you can't just go, heat of the moment. That's not the guys. That was asinine. That's not okay. I wouldn't be happy with that if I'm like, and I wasn't happy with that. I laughed at it at first. I thought it was hilarious how him and Scatabo both went back there. But at the same time, it's not right for him cursing out the doctor like that. Doctor's just doing his job. You're cursing him out because your player is not in for a freaking week. How about all the Giants fans that have been saying to put him in since week 1? You didn't put him in for 3 weeks. So, I mean, like, stop rushing him. Because clearly you didn't want him in here for the first bit of it. You could wait a play. At the very minimum, you could wait a play without throwing a temper tantrum that a 2-year-old would throw. I'm sorry, how I feel about it, personally. I just didn't like that energy from Dayball. Scatabo went in there as a concerned friend. I still thought that was hilarious just because their bond is just, like, tight-knit, and I love that about it. That's how I feel about it. But I guess that one other question here I want to ask, and then we'll kind of move away from the Giants real quick. Do you guys feel if Dart and Scatabo were starting week 1, do you feel that their season starts off on a different foot? Do you feel they start off better than 2-4? Does it make a difference with them in or out?
I don't think it really makes a difference. I think you're still gonna see the struggles because who did we have week 1 again?
Washington.
Yeah, we had Washington, and I don't know. Washington completely dominated us on both sides of the ball, and I don't think Jackson Dart. Yeah, he brings an energy to the team, but that Giants team just looked utter disgraceful in that first game.
They look horrible.
Whether it was going to be your backup or your rookie going in, the Giants just looked absolutely horrible in game 1. And I think the momentum would have continued. I still think we could have seen the same record this time. And maybe we would have beat the Chiefs, but like I said, that's a maybe.
I think they could have gone in and at least beat. I think they could have beat Washington. That was the game I was going to bring up because I feel like Washington, with the energy they had with Wilson in there, it just feels like no one got behind what he was doing. It didn't feel like he was doing anything correct. Like, Dart did things that if I saw Wilson in there, he would have done completely different. Wilson didn't want to use his legs. Wilson's only looking down deep. He's not throwing short plays. He never got the tight ends into the play. Theo Johnson has, I think, more reception now than he had all of this year with Wilson and previously last year with the 3 quarterbacks that were in rotation for the entire season. Like, he's actually utilizing the tight ends. He's utilizing his running backs. He's utilizing his legs. He had Humphreys out there, Hyatt, and Wan'Dale Robinson. And he did better than Wilson did with Neighbors in there and the rest of those guys too. Like, I feel like it could have changed a little bit. I don't know how much it would have, but I feel like they could have gone in there with a better shot against Washington. And then I felt like they could have done better against the Chiefs. Absolutely. Dan, your camera real quick, by the way. But yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it. I feel like they could have had possibly a better record. I'm not going to say for sure, because again, like, it could have been the same thing. Could have just been a bad result, and then Dart's whole entire altitude just goes down because he's not expecting much. But I think they do better. I think they could have done better with him there.
You can look back to the game he had against the Saints. Who's to say that he wouldn't have that same performance against the Commanders or even Dallas? And yeah, the Dallas game, both teams did horrible, and the offense did get involved. and it was mainly an offensive game more than a defensive game. But I think in general the whole play calling was mainly the issue for the first few weeks. And I think now you're seeing them using the playbook more in Jackson Dart's favor because they didn't know what to do with Russell Wilson, like you said. I think that was a factor. But at the same time, going into week 1, yeah, you had the training camp to discuss a playbook behind Dart. Who's to say that playbook would have actually worked like it is right now?
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, Vicky, if you have nothing to add, then I can cut this out of the podcast. If we have nothing to add, but
No, I just think that I think they put him in exactly when he needed to come in because they gave him a chance to. What did he come in? Week 3, week 4? What was
week
it?
4,
Week
you mean
4?
week 4.
Week 4. You know, gave him 3. He gave him 3 crucial pro games. And plenty of practices to see what the team was kind of struggling in. You know, there's a lot of homework that he could have been doing in those 3 games. Granted, he was behind sidelines, but still, like, made that much more of an impact for him to come in and display that energy, right? Like, it's more like a saving grace. Like, all right, well, this clearly our option that we initially had isn't working. We need you to come save us. You know, like that sense of urgency to come in and to really thrive on this opportunity to become the starting quarterback of this franchise or just this team and his contract now. Like, all right, like, clearly that's not working. The way Russ is playing, the guys ain't there. Like, gonna come in here and really light a fire, you know. So I think watching teams play, watching how the offense was playing with Russell, watching the defense and what he needed to add to the team, you know, and just taking what he saw in those 3 games or those 4 games and trying to just not do that, you know, and bringing in his own energy and his own vibe into the team, you know, and trying to spruce things up, like not trying to just push the ball down the field. And I'm sure adapting to the play calling to his style, you know, I think they put him in right at the right time. Like, you know, like if they waited longer, they could have started him earlier. Maybe if they would have started him earlier, he would have kind of just been like, yeah, I deserved this and got a little cocky and maybe, you know, underplayed, or he could have excelled. You know, it's hard to say, but I think they put him in at the right time, and he's doing the most with what his opportunity is giving him right now. So no point in looking in the past, right? So, you know, he's got you 2 wins right now. Maybe he could have got you 2 or 3 or 4. He could have started you out 4-0, or maybe he could have started you out 0-4. But you know, all I know is that since they put him in, they've been playing contention football in almost all their games. You know, and
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's something they were doing with Russell, other than that Dallas game, right? That one game really where it
Yeah.
was, you know, which should have been a loss anyway. But yeah,
but I agree with Vic. I think you put him in at the right time because say if you did put him in week 1, the Giants could possibly be 0-6 right now if Jackson Dart actually started week 1. You don't know, and it's all ifs at the end of the day. But they started him when they felt they needed to start him, and he learned behind Russell Wilson. He had the help of Jameson Winston too, being in his corner, and
I love him, man.
I just think you put him back in the right time.
He's so good to have on the team, Jameson Winston. I don't want him to trade him. I don't care what he does. Like, he could stay back for the rest of his career. I just want him to be on the team, man. He's so fun to have. The W, yeah, he did it after the game with Dart too. They did it again. They did it again. Center field. They're like, yeah. It was great to see, man.
nice shot.
I love that stuff, man. He's so good. I love the videos I see him. I wish I would have followed his career before, but like he really just I love all the videos I see of him. I've been watching more every time I see a Jameson Winston video pop up now, I'm like, I gotta go check that thing out. I'm like, I don't care what it's about. I don't care if I've seen it already. I just gotta go watch it.
My favorite video of him was when he was in Cleveland, and he's trying to get a team to get offside, and he goes, "Why are you not even jumping?"
Oh, I seen that.
Yeah,
I really hope he gets one more chance. Like,
I would love to see it.
I mean, he
I
wasn't
watched an
bad when
interview
he was
on
in the
him
league.
in Tampa, And then they were like, "Well, how's it feel to know that you were the issue in Tampa when then Baker takes them to the playoffs?" You know, and he's just like, "I'm so happy for the team," you know, and I'm just
I love that
he's like,
about
"It
him.
just sucks that I couldn't be that guy. I didn't have that skill to get them there, even though we had the team, you know." And I'm like, "Damn, like that is a guy you want in your locker room."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Great locker
so
room
just
guy.
to see him, hopefully he's able to get one more chance to go out there and like put on a show. Not saying I want any guys on the Giants to get hurt, but like if he does get that chance, I'm all for him, you know?
Don't
I
get
said
me
he
wrong.
he
Football
should
at
have gone
the end of the
Cleveland. I said wrong.
day is
Cincinnati.
football at the end of the day, you're concerned about how you perform individually, but at the end of the day, it is a team sport. Like you're not gonna win by just your quarterback going out and performing. You're not gonna win from just your top receiver getting all the yards. It's a team game. You're gonna need some team leadership like Jameson Winston have on your team to get the team all to rally the team all behind you and on the same page. And it happens in every sport. Like you have these very selfish mindsets in in all professional sports across the board. Like, yeah, I get it. You want your individual stats to matter, but what does that say if you haven't won the trophy everybody's trying to win at the end of the year?
Yeah, the trophy's a team game. You know, that's a team aspect thing. It's like you can play your heart out and still get destroyed because you're like Joe. We see it every year with Cincinnati. You know, Cincinnati kind of throws that ball up and they
Oh, I
they
know.
do great, and then their defense kind of lets them up, or the offensive line doesn't hold Burrow to stay up, and then he gets injured for 3